Hey guys, it's me again, Koku, back on the blogs. And this time I came across a post on the Shade Room about the Brat and her wife, Jesseca. Let's get into it. The title of the post is, "The Brat and her wife, Jesseca, chose white sperm donor. Says lone black donor looked like Jiminy Cricket." Before y'all come for them, let me continue reading. During a conversation with The Root, rapper The Brat and her wife Jesseca discussed the process of picking a sperm donor. The couple says that they were surprised at the lack of black donors to choose from. They went through thousands of candidates and eventually narrowed it down to 300 candidates, which only included one black donor. The Brat said, and that looked like Jiminy Cricket. I was like, I'm sorry, but that was not going to be my choice. According to The Root, the couple ultimately went with the white donor. "I think we did a great job with picking. He's handsome, he's tall, and I think he's going to look beautiful with my wife's egg." So my comment to that was, some things you just don't need to say out loud. I do believe them though. I did my Googles and started poking around the internet, just wondering, why is there only one black donor that's a viable candidate of the 300 people that you guys are poking around and trying to figure out who should be the father to this child, right? So I actually felt where the ladies were coming from on this one. You know, when it's a one-on-one situation, you want options. You want options. When I go to the Jamaican spot and get my mac and cheese, my macaroni pie, if there's only one slice there, I don't want it. I want options. Bring out the fresh baked pie and I'll choose that one particular corner. I don't want the one that's left over, I want to be able to choose. And if there's only one guy, what's the chances that that guy is going to be perfect for the situation? Children are not to be compared to macaroni and cheese. I definitely want to make that distinction and let you guys know that that is not the right thing to do, and I was definitely wrong for that. But y'all might make some macaroni and cheese sounds when you're making children, but let's get back to the issue at hand. So I found an article on Fox 5 New York. They're profiling a woman named Tracy Holland who was looking for a black sperm donor, a black woman, and she wanted to have a black child with a black man. And let me just read some of this. Tracy Holland always wanted to be a mother and refused to let being single get in the way. Wanting a family to reflect her own African-American heritage, she eventually decided to reach out to a cryobank to find a black sperm donor to give her the family she longed for. But Holland was in for an awakening as the availability of black sperm was slim to nil. The Washington Post posted an analysis in October 2022, which found black men accounted for less than 2% of sperm donors at cryobanks nationwide. Here's where it gets interesting and where I get it. It says research on the shortage determined a common denominator to be generational medicinal mistrust within the black community, particularly among black men. Do you blame us for that? The thought process is that African Americans don't want to go to the doctor, don't want to participate in trials, don't want to donate anything unless they absolutely have to, unless there's a family member involved, said Dr. Michael Thomas, president of the American Society for Reproductive Medicine. I think it just goes to that, and that's why you see the numbers so low for African American sperm donors, even though there's a great need. I found this particular detail interesting. I was just like, oh, that's what y'all reached out to? Y'all want them to be the daddies? We've reached out to fraternities to have their members potentially apply and join our program, said Scott Brown, vice president of Strategic Alliances for California Cryobank, one of the leading sperm banks in the world. We've planted ourselves in cities that have higher populations of African Americans. I'm just trying to imagine y'all going up into the Divine Nine and asking them for their sperm, and I just don't know how that's going to go. But, that's a pretty good, let me leave that at that. But Brown admits one of the toughest tasks for any sperm bank is being asked if there's any black sperm and having to say no. I will say this. If I were in their situation and I really wanted to have a black child, first of all, I don't want children. I've been very clear about that. If anybody knows me, they know that about me. If for some strange reason I became pregnant, I would absolutely have the child because, okay, I'm about to have a child. Like, I'm pregnant. Like, cool, whatever. I don't long to be a mother. It's not something that I've it's not like my life's mission or anything like that. But it wouldn't be a big deal to me. I'd be a great mom and I love kids. So, all right, cool. I'm a mom, But if it were me in this situation, I would try to find a very clean solution and maybe finding someone that I trust that would be willing to donate the sperm. If we can have some contractual agreement where the person is not obligated to be a father to the child, or maybe they want to be a father in a disconnected sort of uncle kind of way, I probably would go there where the child knows who their father is, but their black father knows who their black father is, but the father is not the dad per se. They're not the parent. A supportive character in our family dynamic, but of course, this is what their relationship is their wife, and they are the mothers to the child, and the father would more so act as an uncle. Like, that's what I would probably do. I don't see myself going to a sperm bank, wanting a black child, and then suddenly saying, okay, well, this white guy will do because there's no black men available. I don't pass judgment on them choosing a white donor. The candidate probably really did have the qualifications that they were looking for. That made them feel like he was suitable to, obviously, for them to carry the child. The brat is using her wife's egg and this donor, and she's carrying the child. So there's a sort of a symbiotic relationship there. It's really interesting how they decided to do that. I think that's, I guess you could say fair. It's interesting because then they're both part of the process. As for me, I don't give a ish what they decide to do. I also just feel like the candidate probably really did look like Jiminy Cricket. And when there's only one of 300 viable candidates, that is probably more likely than finding a candidate that's exactly what you're looking for. So unfortunately for them, they were not able to get a black sperm donor. What do you guys think about that? Am I alone in thinking like, oh, well, somebody said that they just wanted a baby with good hair. I think that's a little reductive, and I don't know that it really came down to that, but you never know. The brat from Chicago. Chicago do be doing stuff like that. You know, I'm from Chicago too, so I know. Let me know if you saw this. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know how you feel about black sperm donorship. And if you are the type of person that would actually donate your sperm, do you think it's a big government conspiracy? Are you uncomfortable with the process? I just want to know your opinion.